Welcome to another Pillow Fright podcast slumber party. I'm Alyssa.
I'm Kay.
And I'm Emma.
And we are your three besties here to keep you in the loop with all things horror.
Can you guys believe that it is the last week of our Spaceship Slaughters series?
How did that happen?
That just flew by.
Flew by, just like
really
a spaceship.
It really did. But you know what? We are ending the series with a true classic.
A cult classic, I think.
Cult. You are absolutely right. You got to add the cult classic.
Extra.
I mean, to me, it is a TCM classic. But that being said, there are spaceships, there are clowns, and there's outer space. What are we talking about?
That's right. We're talking the 1988 classic, Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Say, Kay, what is this movie about?
Well, in case you don't know what Killer Klowns from Outer Space... I'm just going to say it. I don't even know. Okay.
We're having fun, y'all.
When teenagers Mike and Debbie see a comet crash outside their sleepy small town, they investigate and discover a pack of murderous aliens who look very much like circus clowns. They try to warn their local authorities, but everyone assumes their story is a prank. Meanwhile, the clowns set about harvesting and eating as many people as they can. It's not until they kidnap Debbie that Mike decides it's up to him to stop the clowns' bloody rampage. The synopsis doesn't even mention the third character in their throuple.
No, I was going to say it pretty much gives away the whole plot right there.
Yeah.
Except Mike Tobacco.
Mike Tobacco. What is that
His name is Mike Tobacco. Why?
It was like Debbie Filter.
It's
or
Debbie
my God.
Stone. But before we...
Stone because she has the most basic of all bitches.
That is a
sense of
very
fashion.
Yes.
adult
Person.
film-friendly name.
Friends, before we get really into Killer Klowns, what's your favorite clown movie?
None of them. There are
If you
no
had to
good-
choose.
There are no good clown movies because clowns are the worst. Is there a movie where someone just goes in and just like kills a bunch of them en masse?
I'm sure there
I'm
is.
sure that exists.
Okay.
It has to.
What's your favorite clown movie?
To be completely honest, I think it's this one. But also not a movie, but I love the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Not Zebo. It's Zebo, right?
Yeah.
Zebo the clown. Yeah. The ghastly grinner, Zebo. Don't get me started on Are You Afraid of the Dark. But yeah, I think it's this.
I gotta say, I really love It Chapter 1. I think that's good filmmaking.
Of the
I didn't
original
even think about
or
that.
the-
No, part
So chapter 1 being the remake, not
Yes.
part 1 of the miniseries.
Yes.
Chapter
Okay.
1 is so
No,
good.
I remember watching the miniseries
Yeah.
as it aired as a kid, and that shit scared the bonkers out of me.
It's scary.
I never saw it. I wish I had.
Oh,
I have
it was,
on
it was.
VHS.
Well, no, I've seen it now. I didn't see it as a
No,
kid.
I feel like it doesn't hold up that well, right?
in like an
No,
endearing
Tim Curry
way.
I think he did a really good job
Yeah.
of being. There are some parts where he's creepy, but I don't think he's terrifying. But if you saw it as a kid, he's probably terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Like, he gave me nightmares.
Yeah, I could see that. And like Seth Green being that, I remember we talked a different episode where I was like, why the fuck is he this age? Why is he a teenager? I don't understand. And then it just like really messed with me.
That he's just ageless.
He
Yeah.
is.
I remember growing up in Bangor, Maine, that there's lots of fun things they would do to celebrate it.
Oh,
They would put balloons coming out of the gutters, like out of the
Oh
sewer.
man,
That's messed up.
Yeah, especially for like the premieres of these new movies.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, bless you, friend.
I bet it was a great time to live in Bangor, Maine during the premiere of these new movies.
I didn't. I lived here, but I saw pictures my friends were posting from back home, and it looked so fun.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
No, that's a really good one. That might be one too. I can't believe I forgot about that.
Well, it's crazy because Derry isn't like there is no Derry, Maine. It does not exist. But Bangor is actually Derry. So I could like if you guys ever want to come to my hometown,
Always.
I could take you
I
to
wanna live
all
there.
the locations like that the movie is based on.
Oh, we can go to your hometown, but we can't go stay in my grandpa's clown
No, I
room.
want to go to all of them. Let's go to
I
road trip.
will.
Yeah.
Friends, if you're watching this and you would like to fund a Pillow Fright road trip across the United States, we'd love that.
Yeah.
Good
For your For your kindly donation of $1.99, less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can send the Pillow Fright podcast team to go film in my grandpa's clown room before my family says enough of this shit and takes it down. And then we can go to Bangor, Maine to see all the sights.
See all the Stephen King.
In the arms of the angel.
Should be in arms of Satan.
Arms of sight.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
I didn't watch any clown movies growing up, but I literally grew up surrounded by fucking clowns.
Is that why you're scared of them?
100%. Of course, that's why I'm scared of them. Of course. Like, I never watched it. I never saw it as a kid, and I never saw it as a kid. So when a lot of people are like, I'm terrified of clowns, that's not what did it for me. It was actual clowns. My grandpa loved clowns, specifically hobos, the sad clowns.
Oh, no.
That was his jam.
No.
There was like a circus museum in Wisconsin that we would go to, and
What was that again?
Wisconsin?
What was it called?
Wisconsin. It's a place. Look
Not
it up.
making fun.
Look it up on a map.
Not making fun. I just love a good accent. Not making fun.
But yeah, I love the sideshow museum that they had. Like, I thought that was real cool. Yeah, I've been doing this the whole time. I don't know how you didn't notice my unicorn. But like the sideshow museum, like they had the conjoined twins. They had like little statues, and they put them in little things. Like they put them in cages. It was maybe it was problematic. But like he legitimately loved clowns, and the entire family room of the wood paneling walls is covered in clown paintings, not prints, legit paintings.
Like velvet paintings?
Yeah, there are some of those.
Amazing.
Plates, like when people would buy those commemorative clown plates. He has a series of those. And that's also where the only big TV was. So late at night, that's where I would watch horror movies. After going to sleep, I would watch horror movies in the clown room, and like the shadows are playing off these creepy ass portraits that I'm like on the couch, like looking up at them. So, but a lot of that and like going to the circus. And then the only clown though that I grew up with in the Midwest is Bozo. Did everyone get Bozo?
Is Bozo the waving one?
Well, Bozo had like, he had a kid show. He had big red hair.
Like actual, yeah.
Bozo buckets, like.
Okay.
I remember going to a taping of that. I wasn't scared of clowns then. I think it developed a little later.
Ooh. Have
But-
you seen Stitches?
Wait, is that the.
We should watch that
the one,
sometime.
wait, is that the one that went.
It's
No. What's the clown? Oh, no, the clown. The one that got like canceled and then re-brought back.
What
Where
is that?
they were going to release it, and then they were like, no, we're not releasing this. And then later on, like it got released to streaming or something.
Oh. It's I think it's Irish. I'm not positive.
No, I don't
but
think I've
it's
seen
Irish.
Stitches. I would
Ooh,
watch
We gotta watch
Stitches.
that sometime.
I did like
Yeah.
that clown movie though. I think it's just called Clown. It might have been a
Clown.
Roth.
Clune. Yeah, the Eli Roth one.
Yeah.
Where he like, it's like a body horror, but
Yeah.
it's, yep.
That one's
Yeah.
actually really gruesome.
I like saying Clune. It's Clune. That is. It really is.
I haven't watched it again, but when I watched it, I was
Ugh.
like, this is really, really, really dark.
I can't wait to have
kinda
a
like that
clowns
one.
month.
When Terrifier 3 comes out, will you go see it with
I
us?
have to still see 2.
It's better than
We'll watch it. Can we tie you
No,
down to watch it with us? I don't know why we
You just have
tie you
to-
down, but
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I was
my
gonna
eyes.
say the same thing.
Through the if I can make it through the laundromat scene,
You
I'll be fine
can.
because I
Listen.
have watched this movie 4 times and I've turned it off after the laundromat scene
Hey.
every single time.
if you want a beautiful corpse, you are in for a treat.
It's not. You know what? I love a good corpse. Do not love a good floor shitting. So
There's
unfortunately,
not too much floor shit in part 2, I don't think.
there's a massive amount of
In part
floor
2?
shit. The laundromat scene.
He poops on the floor.
She does. She like releases
that's
a
it.
vilely,
Yeah.
ungodly amount.
Spoilers for Terrifier 2.
I think it's been enough time.
Oh my gosh.
Ungodly amount of
I'm taking the pillow.
liquid-y stuff on the floor. And I don't, if it had been blood, I would have been like totally cool with it.
No,
Why don't I
body
remember
functions
this?
are not fun. They're
Yeah.
not fun.
So I just have not made it past then. I'll do it. We'll watch it.
I'm excited.
I'll see 3.
But you've seen the bedroom scene, right?
Of
Have you
one?
read about it in part 2?
No, I don't read anything about
Don't
it.
do anything. Watch it with us for the first time.
God. One
it is really cool.
One is where I got Taint to Tip from. So
Taint to
Taint to Tip.
I didn't think they'd be able to beat it, but they did well. Okay. Anyway, what movie did we watch today?
Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
I'm doing my D's in the face choreography from the fashion show.
Okay.
I'm so
Not
proud of
bragging on
myself. I haven't said one bad word yet. I am so proud of myself.
Please
It might not last, but I am trying. Anyway.
Well, and speaking of Terrifier 3, 2, and 1, we have another film tonight that is created by makeup artists. We have the Kyoto brothers. So we have Charles, Edward, and Stephen Kyoto, the creative family force behind the cult classic Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
The Kyoto brothers.
Don't eat that.
I won't eat it. I
dare
promise.
you.
If I haven't eaten it yet, this was from do you remember that convention that I don't think it was Midsummer Scream, but it was like Scare
LA.
Scare LA. It was the first year they did that. And I remember, I think I got that. Oh, wait, nope. I think it was the first Midsummer we went to. Go on.
Cool.
Cool story.
So what did you guys think of this movie?
I mean, I think the only time I've really seen this movie was it was on cable one day, and I think I was packing up for college. I was packing out of my senior year college apartment, and I just had something on, and I was like, okay, this movie's campy and fun, and I'm going to watch it. So I don't think I watched all of it. I definitely did not remember the dog. I did look that up later, where I was like, it's okay. It doesn't have it on screen. The Yelp is small.
It's barely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Pooh Bear!
Pooh Bear! Wow. Pooh Bear!
Get you
All right. For Pooh Bear.
But I didn't. Yeah, I think this movie would have been a lot more fun to have seen with a group of people, watching it like this, like we just watched it, versus having it just on in the background. Was like, okay.
This movie is very nostalgic for me. I remember discovering it because I think this might have been one of the ones my mom may have taken home for inventory at her Albertsons VHS days we talked about in the first episode. You should watch and get to know us. I think this was one of them. And I remember specifically the punching scene, the shadow scene, and the puppet scene.
Yeah.
Scared the poo-poo out of my beehole.
God. This is definitely one of those movies for me that I don't know when the first time I saw it was. It's just sort of been I just accepted that it was in my zeitgeist from the start or something. It's definitely a movie that I often put on for background noise. And that I really love for the aesthetic of it. But yeah, it is a fun, campy movie. I don't remember the last time that I sat down and actually watched it like we did today. And, it holds up for what it is in a really, really great way. It's such a creative movie. And it's all vision on the screen. You can tell that every dollar went to creating this ridiculous world. And I respect the hell out of that.
No, it really is, because this was, I think, my first time in a while seeing it from start to finish. And I feel like this is one of those movies that every time I in particular watch it, I love it more and more because they knew their assignment. The creative team, the actors, the soap opera, Dave, they all knew their assignment and they took it so seriously, treating it like a drama, like a real straight horror movie. And that's why it works.
And it's one of those movies too, where I believe the composer had gone in to the office of the production company, and I guess everybody was like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be such a stinker. It's gonna make no money." And he's like, "Are you kidding?" He's like, "We got a cult classic on our hands." They said that while they were in post, they knew that this had some longevity to it.
Well, I mean, good practical effects, good puppeteering, which I will say, puppeteering, especially the 80s, really was still doing that to the level where everyone loved it. And they had so many clowns. I did not remember there being so many.
It's they made background clowns. And I thought that was so cool. And it was interesting because you mentioned, are their eyes moving? I can't tell if they're moving, but It reminded me of that same mechanics that they did the Ninja Turtles with. It's that kind of puppet costume human hybrid. That's
Yeah.
I
Like they
think
could
that's
do
so
all
cool.
the stuff in the close-ups.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would rather see that than CGI any day. That's just my preference.
But these, I mean, each of the background clowns, they had different haircuts. They had different costumes.
Mhm.
They built these. They built
Yeah.
them. This isn't like someone putting an extra in makeup and going like, okay, you're the hero zombie. You're the
Yeah.
background zombie who's just wearing a mask. Like
Yeah.
they individually built them so that each of these clowns had a personality and had a little story of their own.
They have names.
Yeah.
They each have names.
Maybe not every single one of them. Maybe they gave names to
Who was
every single
Joe?
one.
Joe was the last one on the roster. If you look at the wiki, he was like Joe, the parade security or something. He was like Joe.
Well, the game, you get to pick your clown in the game that came out this year, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game.
Which I still want to play. We should play for sure.
Because you can play between either humans or clowns, and when you unlock all of the clowns, you can even play as a female that only got a very brief moment in this game, which they should have had more. I'm sorry, brief moment in the movie. But you can unlock those skins and you get to pick their names, but they have their signature weapons. Like, yeah, you have this gun.
Yeah.
We got the
You
popcorn.
have the boxing gloves.
Yeah. The little dude, he has the
I don't
boxing
think anybody
gloves.
can see this, but a little.
So like these clown, each clown meant something. Each clown was someone in their little hive of murderous aliens.
Who's your favorite clown of all of them? I could confirm the name later, but
Okay. I mean, I really hate the one that looks like a pug. I don't know why. He
I think-
bothers me.
Isn't that Fatso? I think
Fatso
the
bothers
name.
me.
I don't know.
He looks like a dog wearing a ball sack.
Is this one Shorty?
Shorty, yeah, the
Shorty's
boxing
my
guy.
favorite.
I think
It's
that's
cute.
Shorty.
Shorty was really adorable.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for him. They all are actually quite upsetting, so I don't love any of them. They're upsetting to look at.
I think Shorty's my favorite because he's adorable and I love him, but I also love how scary. I forget his name. I don't know if they're official names or not, but the one that puppeteers, the scary, menacing one that tries to lure the kid. And
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
he's so scary. That actor's good.
This one.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite too, Tinge?
But in general, no, they're all awful.
They're all horrifying.
Very creepy. I think my favorite is when they're embryos, when they're the little popcorns.
Oh, the
they're
little
so
like
cute.
yeah.
No, not just the actual
Oh, the
popcorn.
actual
Oh,
walking
the
moving
popcorn.
popcorn.
Yep.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite version of the clowns.
That
is when
makes
they're just
sense.
moving popcorn.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It was like,
I love like all the sets that they did, and then I love like all the the matte painting type things that they did to like extend their sets. I think they were matte paintings unless they were real paintings, like background paintings on set.
I mean, I didn't really want to watch a lot of behind the scenes for this before sitting down and
Yeah.
actually watching it because I figured that would be a lot of spoilers. But I would love to see what it was like between when the clowns don't have the eye movement
Yeah.
versus when they do, like the variances that they did. I would love to see more about the spaceship. The spaceship was very intricate,
Yeah.
very fun house. And the way that they really planned it all out, like the power core scene is great where they like their little electric ball and that it's still so campy,
Yeah.
Yes.
so circus.
I love it.
But it's, it is it's a spaceship. It has
Yeah.
everything's thought out for it. It's just like, I don't know why that these clowns exist in the universe that they do.
There
It's
was
not
a
like,
planet of clowns.
yeah, they didn't explain it in the way that they explained it or anything
Yeah.
like that or Pennywise. But they still, you know what? That's their thing. They tried for a second. They're like, what if clowns are inspired by
And
this?
they're
And
like,
the guys are just
nah. No, I love that. The Horror Nights maze was amazing.
Oh,
They did
so good.
such a great job with the set design in this, with like replicating that. I mean,
I would go through a Horror Nights maze for this. It's better than actual clowns. I think these clowns are less creepy.
they were really fun. They actually interacted as much as they could for being at Horror Nights. But I remember walking by one time and I was wearing my Killer Klowns tank top. And I think it was Shorty. He walked by and he was like, because it's Shorty on the shirt. He was interacting. I was like, oh, that must have been so fun to be able to interact with the guest like that.
And they had the guy being, I want to say his name was Bud for some reason.
Bud.
That could be wrong. The like old man with the dog.
No,
He's
Farmer
like,
Green, Gene Green.
Gene Green.
Royal Dano plays Farmer Gene
Farmer
Green.
Gene Green.
They had an actor outside doing that whole thing and like pretending to get electrocuted.
Oh,
It was really cute.
oh, he's so cute.
I mean, they play into the camp. You have these like very clown makeup faces, and then disgusting teeth because they are eating and living on the sugars of humans, like the dissolved sugars that are left in our bodies. That's what I assume.
That
I
makes
assumed
it
a lot.
so much grosser.
Well, like
Oh, I
that's the
love
only
it.
thing that made sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like if they're eating, it's just like our liquid sugars that
Yeah.
they've dissolved and they like left in there like a hummingbird with a weird ass straw. When you put hummingbird liquid, it's red.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
That's
These are
funny.
just hummingbird creatures.
They're just really
they're
hummingbird.
just hummingbirds.
The
They're just-
technology of hummingbirds.
Yeah, but the like gory, grotesque to this, where it's so camp and it's so ridiculous, but it is still eating and murdering and dissolving humans.
Yes.
Yes.
Just realized we're all still wearing party hats for no reason at all.
No,
Other
it's
than
that one scene.
It's that
That
one
one
scene.
very
The
brief
Big Top Burger.
One
Big Top
scene.
Burger.
And there's 2 scenes there, by the way.
Well, there's 2 scenes, but there's only one hat.
Yeah, well, we're wearing hats.
We're wearing hats
We
because
have them left over from long legs.
And we also, because we didn't have giant ass bow ties.
Yes.
Polka dot
Oh.
bow ties.
So I want to talk about the cast and specifically their performances.
Mike Tobacco.
Mike Tobacco, what a name. What a name.
What a name! What a haircut!
Oh, there was a lot of haircuts in this movie.
There's
There
a
were a lot of haircuts.
I really want to know what happened after this movie with the love triangle of like Mike, Dave, and
Debbie.
Debbie.
They all got very, very bonded
Very.
by the end of this. They're all very touching.
I was like, they are all going back to Debbie's to take another 2-hour-long shower.
Listen, there's no shame in a throuple, and I think that's probably what they decided on at some point.
They bonded. They trauma bonded.
Oh my
And
God.
They were in it together to the very end after that.
If Mike and Dave aren't together, I hope they're BFFs for life.
Right.
Because that's really cute.
Well, you can't have that kind of thing and then still be like, well, now we still have to fight over this chick. Like, we all went through this, but like, only one of us gets the girl.
I mean, Debbie wears fucking khaki for like everything. Like, who wants to fight over that?
And she has a beige Italy poster in her bathroom.
Girl loves beige.
She loves Portofino, Italy.
Well, you know, she was going for a cop and then she was going for the guy that brought a raft in his SUV.
Yeah.
Like, she's got a type.
It
Seems bland.
Those
But you know what? Maybe you needed Debbie and our leads to be so bland because our killers were
Yes.
so extreme.
that would
and
make
crazy.
sense.
And it's like, maybe was the whole underlying theme of this movie root for bland because
Maybe.
being bland is good. It
Blend
saves
in.
lives.
Blend in and you'll survive.
They saw They Live and they were like, you know what? We really got that backwards. Let's try this again.
They are very opposite.
Yeah, and
Messaging.
They all took it so seriously.
That's what made it work. They say the best comedy is drama, like acting like a drama. I always was taught that.
No, Dave was acting like this was a soap opera, life or death,
Yes.
but not about the clowns,
right.
just about Debbie.
I feel like that was probably his direction, was that he was supposed, because it's a love triangle in the middle of this horror comedy. And I feel like his direction had to have been like, soap it up, because how else, why would that be his acting? Like, I don't know. It just works.
the town doesn't matter, just Debbie.
Is Debbie like kind of toxic? Like, you know, the first thing goes wrong and the first thing she wants to do is like rub her new boyfriend in her old boyfriend's face. Like, I know somebody who can help us. Like,
Well, who's she gonna go to? Mooney?
I mean, don't get me started on Mooney.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it
Mooney.
was maybe going to be like her smart college professor friend or something,
Yeah.
like this guy in her class who's like smarter and maybe he's in love with her, but
Yeah.
not like let me take my current boyfriend to show off in front of my cop ex.
Yeah.
Like, Debbie, that's rude.
That's like
weird.
bad decision making on her part.
She's like, there's clowns and they're eating people. I guess things are higher, but I kind of think she did it on purpose.
I think
Debbie,
so, a little
Debbie's a
bit.
little toxic.
I think
Debbie
she-
did this on
yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
She
Debbie's a
wanted them to
dick.
fight for her.
Yeah,
Oh.
and Debbie was definitely being like all in front of, this is my, oh, I'm playing both sides. Was she just using Dave Tobacco or Mike Tobacco to get back with Cop Guy? Like,
right? I have questions. Like at the end of the movie, like he's like Cop is like kissing on her neck, and I'm like, what?
and she's just like fine with it. No reaction
He doesn't
whatsoever.
say anything. He's like,
Nothing.
okay, I guess.
All normal. All normal.
Well, and in the car where poor Mike's sitting in the middle of the back seat while Debbie and Dave are in the front. He's like, doesn't change my feelings for you, Debbie.
Yeah.
And she's just,
Debbie.
do. It's fine. Nope, this isn't a thing.
If I were Mike, I would have been like, date over, gonna take my water champagne and go home.
His water
Yeah.
champagne.
I don't need to be a part of this. I've seen what's going on. I'm just going to leave town. I'm out of here, man.
Welch's water champagne.
Yeah. Yeah. I love like how Dave like learns the clown's like weakness is shooting them in the nose. And he does not give this information to anybody else.
I know. Single human, because Dave is going to be the hero. Fuck all y'all.
He keeps it to himself because he wants that alien money. He wants
He immediately has the opportunity to tell everyone who matters, tell the entire rest, send a lot of help
listen.
to die so I can be the hero in
The
this.
only motivation he has is Debbie.
I need to really look
Just-
good in front of Debbie. So I probably need about 20 other cops to die foolishly so I can look real good.
Yeah.
in
And they
front
took
of Debbie.
such a long time to get there in such a small town. Like they took forever.
It's the state cops.
Yeah. Like, how are they going to get there? They have to travel the whole state.
It's true, and they
It's
have
an
to pay
ocean state.
attention. To,
Like, God,
Yeah.
haven't they ever seen Super Troopers?
I know.
I will say this is probably the perfect town for these clowns to show up to. They got
Yeah.
like a whole wharf going on.
Oh yeah.
No one's questioning the big top
Mm-mm.
happening or like
Nope.
no
No
one
one said
questions
anything.
anything. Everyone's like, yup. All right, another day in our small town.
It's kind of cool how this only takes place over like a few hours though, in a night. It's not even, it doesn't take place over days, which in my brain, when, as a child, I thought it did. But
And
No.
I love
What
like
is it?
when they had to deal with this, like the store clerk, and he lets the dude tear the place apart before calling the cops.
Well, every other person just willingly opens their door and is like, oh, cool, pizza delivery by clowns. Totally normal.
Yeah,
Because my
totally
local
normal.
pizza shop has been delivering by mimes this whole time. So
Yeah.
clowns is just the logical next choice.
any clown, like,
Disgusting clowns.
I know.
And then the old lady, did you do this, Harold? His name wasn't Harold, but I decided it was. Oh, how cute. This thing is disgusting.
Not even fazed by it.
Disgusting.
If I opened the door and I saw that, I would have probably melted into a pile of my own piss. Like, that would have terrified the
0% chance
shit
I
out
would
of
have
me.
opened the door for a clown. Never in my life. I am not the brightest person with self-preservation, but I would never open a door for a clown, okay?
Oh.
I'm swearing this
They
episode
all need
is
it.
the clown
This all would
episode.
have been avoided if they just had Ring cameras at the time. If they all just
Or like learn from the
Yeah.
serial killers of the 70s and decided in the 80s that
or
we
had
were
a
going to start
neighborhood
locking doors.
Neighborhood watch. Where was their neighborhood
Yeah,
watch?
watching your children.
Gacy came before this. Get it together, folks.
Oh,
That's true.
no.
This was post Gacy. They should know better.
They should.
Clowns are bad. Which also, Gacy is not the thing that terrified me of clowns living in the Midwest.
Which is interesting.
Just the room.
All right.
So, but we forgot to mention Mooney.
We gotta talk about Mooney. Wait, it's not. I always think Edward Rooney from Ferris Bueller, so I always want to be like Edward Mooney. But he's from Animal House. I think he's the dean in Animal House. He just plays that smug a-hole. Like, ooh,
He's such
He's
a
got-
jerk.
he's so
He's got
good
brow
at it.
work, though. I think that's why he gets
His
those
brow
parts.
work.
His
Mhm.
brow work is
And his
very expressive.
Piercing
Yes.
eyes are just ooh. He's so good. At
I just
playing
love
the
that he's just like, no matter how many people come to me, I'm
Oh,
never going to believe there's clowns killing people.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I feel like his internal monologue or like the backstory was that he's retiring in like 3 days because he's drinking on the job, he's smoking a cigar, sitting there
Throwing
laughing at
punks in
everyone.
jail.
I think that that's just how he's been acting this entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's the only one left, and he's
He's-
like, "Who? There's no one above me. I run the coop, and I can do whatever that I want." But I do love that he's like, no matter, everyone is out to get him, which is
Yeah.
definitely not a good idea for like
It's
the
just
cop to
him
think
and
that.
Dave. Like they're the only cops in town.
Yeah, like they're like saying like, oh, the chief is off. Like, where is the chief? Is he on
Chief is-
vacation?
Chief's been gone.
Is he in Margaritaville? Like, where is the chief?
Mythical chief. The chief that does not exist.
Oh, he's gone. Mooney's in charge.
Boney.
Yeah,
such a
small
dick.
towns, you don't really get much of a choice, I
It's
guess.
true.
I know.
So,
Ugh.
True.
Unfortunate. But
It
yeah,
makes me
bad
wonder,
cop.
like, what if somebody's like, my child, there's just a creepy man in a van staring at my child, and he's like,
Vans.
van.
Vans don't exist.
In this
Never
town?
heard of a van.
In this economy.
Try calling again. Oh my gosh.
He's really rough.
He's a jerk.
There wasn't a lot of gore because it's PG-13.
The head, though.
You know, couldn't do much, but they got away with what they could. For a PG-13, they stretch it, and it makes me wonder. I know times were different with the MPAA at the time, but
For sure.
it makes me wonder how further they wanted to go or could have gone. Did you do any research on that? Or
A little
anything?
bit. This is a movie they set out to make. Like,
Mm.
I think this was always their vision.
I think it works
Yeah.
as it is.
I think if someone tried to remake this, though, they would amp the gore up like times 20. Like,
Yeah.
the cotton candy would be like burning like through their,
I think it
instead of it just
yeah.
being like a pink face, it would have been like just like a disintegrated
Yeah.
skull.
Because there's a
Um,
lot of that. Like, a lot of, like,
Yeah.
body disintegration and
Mhm.
things like that they don't really show.
But it wasn't gory. It was
Right,
like,
yeah.
oh, at the end of the pie, it's just a skeleton hand.
And I think a lot of times in today's world too, you hear, oh, PG-13 horror. Oh, it's not going to be good. But I mean, and I feel like that also, again, times were different in terms of MPAA, what was allowed and stuff. But I wouldn't want to see this as a rated R. But in today's world, I feel like it would be really cool just to see another version of that with what everyone can get away with technology.
But
with
please don't remake
effects.
this.
Well,
They're going to.
was-
Wait, are they really?
yeah. I think Sci-Fi Channel owns the rights to it now, from what I understand.
It's only a matter of time.
I won't say, but I do have a few friends who've been approached to direct it, and I believe they're trying to do it for the same amount of money the original was made for, and not give them a good budget in today's world.
As
So
long as they still have puppeteered cost.
I don't think I think it would end
Have
up
you seen
being
anything with the Sci-Fi Channel? Dude,
yeah.
I love
dude,
the
it's going to be
Sci-Fi
90% CGI.
But I'm kind of hoping with like the resurgence that they've had in the last few years, that it's going to be whoever ends up finally making that remake, it'll be done with a lot more love than what Sci-Fi
hope
Channel would
so.
do.
Because that's the thing about this movie is that people who love it, they love it because it's that nostalgic love. I think a lot of people, if they saw it in recent times, you still feel that kind of like, this is definitely an 80s movie. This is definitely like 80s fluff in the best way possible. And if you grew up on this movie, it's another one of,
It definitely is like a sign of the times. But there's also, there's different ways when they remake 80s things or they set things in the 80s where it's like this campy caricature of the 80s, or if it's what actually the 80s looked like.
Yeah.
Which are two very, very different things.
Mhm.
I think, hopefully it will get a good remake eventually. If it's going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but I'm saying if it does,
Right.
I
it's
want it to
very
be with the right
precious
hands.
to the
Because
fans.
I think people really love this movie because it's so hands-on. I think because you can tell that the Kyoto brothers put their hands on everything. They made everything. They painted everything. Like, it was definitely a project made with love and
Exactly.
attention. So I think that's why.
No, exactly.
Well, and that's something that you don't always see nowadays. If films are just looking to make money or make a buck, they're going to cut corners with CGI.
Yes.
They're going to
Mhm.
cut corners by not taking care of every character.
Oh, if this
How
movie-
often do you see a movie where every single clown, of which there were at least 25, 30 clowns that
at
they
some
made
point.
at
yeah.
a certain point? Like if you look throughout the whole movie, if we did try to do a clown count, just by like based on wigs alone.
We'll
to
do one for the
distribute-
Patreon. Clown count Patreon.
But they don't do that anymore. Like that's
No.
really, really rare.
Which actually, talking about this is the first time I actually thought about a remake happening because it's one of those cult classics that eventually would. And that kind of makes me really sad because I do not want to see CGI touch this unless it's space, coming down on Earth. All the things where CGI does benefit, I would love to see that. But
I mean,
the effects,
Well, the Kyoto brothers themselves have 2 sequels that they've written that they would like to make. And I don't think that they've ever been given the opportunity to do it.
wow.
Yeah, they said that if they got to make these like legacy sequels, Mike Tobacco would be like the town like
I just
crazy.
seriously.
And
Fair.
he would be like ranting about the clowns coming and nobody would listen to him.
The Crazy Ralph of the alien world.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Would Debbie and Dave have moved in together and that's why he's so crazy and like she's their mayor or whatever? And
I would
mayor-
love that.
I would, and they, oh my God, it could all take place at the Cove Carnival
Oh, I would love that.
anniversary or some
TM.
shit.
4th of
TM.
July thing.
TM. You heard it
Claimed
here first. Pillow Fright Podcast TM.
You'd think that when they
You
came
can hire
out,
us to make it.
we'll do it. We'll do it.
I'll be a clown.
With the game, like, and how excited people were for this game and all the, you know, all the care that they put into it and the nostalgia, like you said, and the love that people had for being like, oh, I could play as a clown. I can do this. But they've also made it so that it is something that you could easily make a sequel to, or you could expand more on the clown world or like the history, maybe not like a prequel in the sense, but you can expand without it having to be necessarily a remake. Yeah. And I think that recently we've seen a lot more of that. We've seen that where it's like, oh, we're going to do this, but it's going to be like Night Watch where they did it later on. And the 30 year, like done a lot of like that anniversary thing that is, instead of it just being like, oh, here's this movie everyone loved and we're going to remake it and have it suck and people not like it. And because if it's not good, fans will revolt.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Well,
Go on.
we are in the era of the requel. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's a requel. And I think that's part of it, is keeping the legacy alive. I think, you know, the Halloween remake team really, really set that tone. And that's what it's been moving forward, trend-wise.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like a movie like this, it's because it's so campy and so silly. And as long as you keep that tone going forward, all you need is a sentence being like, well, there's more of them. We discovered like where they're coming from. And that's all you need. Like, you don't even need an explanation, really.
I mean, it's not like it ended in a way that the clowns necessarily lost or the humans necessarily won.
That might not have been the leader. There might have been more.
Yeah, there could be a bigger clown.
There probably is more.
But this definitely left it open-ended, especially if the brothers were already planning on, they had the idea to make sequels and they ended it in a really fun, campy way.
I think this movie has really had sort of a resurgence in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
All based on merch. Like Spirit Halloween and Universal Studios have bought this license and they have gone gangbusters with it. Like I remember during the pandemic, it was like when stores were just kind of opening again, there was like people fighting at Spirit over Killer Klowns floor mats. And I'm like, really?
Oh, I want one so bad.
I know.
It was
pretty
me.
cool.
I didn't want to admit it. That was me.
But yeah, I think seeing it at Universal and people like, it's such an aesthetically fun movie. It's so it's joyful to look at. It's kind of trendy. So I see the merit, and I see why it's attracting a new audience, a younger audience.
It's just a very colorful movie in every sense of the word when we are in a very
look at
like
this.
drab time in life.
Right? Like,
So this
You got-
energy is much needed.
like this is so fun.
I know. Look at this. Look at this stuff. Who did these, by the way? Do you know? Where
Spirit Halloween.
I gotta go.
They were able to do that while still making it horror, which is what we what we want. This is the best example of literal camp,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but still being like kind of scary, kind of fun. Like you don't want to get turned into the human Slurpee that gets eaten by a crazy straw. And I said earlier, they are clowns with disgusting, rotting teeth. It's like, and there's something gross underneath them, but for some reason, instead they explode into neon green, like light triangle things
And confetti.
and confetti.
Yeah.
But there is that level of keeping it the best of both worlds,
Right.
which is probably why it was able to, attract so many people.
I think this is one of the best, my favorite comedy horrors of all time. And I think the 80s, there was a time where they did a really good just repertoire of like Night of the Comet, like all these movies that are an equal balance of comedy and horror, because there are some pretty creepy moments in this movie.
Well, and that's, this is another one of those space movies, which are a lot of the space movies we've watched that have to do with the 80s or the 90s or 2K are very, very different. It's hard to find space horror comedies that are, going all three. There's space comedies,
Intentionally comedic.
Right. Well, you have Mars Attacks.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be another one.
Yeah.
It's set on Earth. There is a spaceship, but it's not the same, you know.
Right.
There's actually a lot of spaceship scenes. That one could have worked. This one's more fun.
Yeah, it was on my maybe list, but I was like, if we're gonna
That'd be
do
fun.
a comedy, this kind of felt more fun.
But they did announce a game for that too. So we are getting Mars Attacks. This is a cozy sim builder in the sense that you're building you're on Mars playing as the CEO who is building a theme park, and you kidnap humans so that they could be in your zoo.
Oh, like the Jurassic Park game.
It's like The Sims?
It's like it's like Roller Coaster Tycoon essentially.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
we have
it's
to
Mars Attacks. But then you also have to build roller coasters, and you have to build amenities, and then you have to watch out apparently because the humans are going to revolt and try to like tear your park down and attack your.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's coming out in 2025. They just announced it recently, but yeah, 2025. So
It's gonna be so fun.
But yeah, this campy horror space sci-fi mix that is now getting also a resurgence in games, which will that lead to us getting more for movies when people like the games and people buy the merch.
I hope so, because we need this campy stuff right now. We really need it.
I truly believe that merchandise keeps movies alive.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing, you know?
Well, it makes you wonder, anybody who's like 21 right now, if the merch wasn't here, if Horror Nights didn't do it, would they really know what Killer Klowns from Outer Space is?
I don't know.
Only the cool ones.
Only people whose parents told them about it.
Yeah.
Or if they have Tubi.
Watch this on Tubi for free with commercials.
Tubi. Is that trademarked? Can I not do that?
Tubi.
I hate that new logo thing.
Tubi.
Worse.
It's also on Pluto.
Just let me enjoy my trash in peace, okay?
I know. That being said, I love that this was a nice, easy, short and sweet movie to talk about because
you know what? After
my brain just farted.
After the horror movie that was Alien Romulus, after like the intense sci-fi and CGI heavy Event Horizon, but also practical effects, but also Event Horizon was like a lot. And then what was the other movie?
Jason X.
Oh God,
Jason X was wonderful.
You know what?
Okay.
It was a month of like heavy movies, so it was really fun to wrap it up with something that's this much fun.
Right.
And this beloved, and something that we all actually like, which is kind of rare that the three of us all agree so heavily on a movie. Yeah. I'll take that any day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would call that a successful slumber party. Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
You can see even longer versions of this slumber party as well as our other episodes on our Patreon.
Yes, if you want to see like 5-hour versions. Not really, but there's a lot that you miss.
Along with tons of other bonus content, so make sure to check that out. Also, if you're listening to this, you can also watch episodes on YouTube and see what you're hearing.
If you're brave enough.
If you're brave enough.
Yeah, you can follow us on all of our socials. We got YouTubes, we got Instagrams, we got TikToks. Do we have anything else? Right
Yes, fellow yous. Please follow us on our social.
Hello, fellow kids.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go to our socials. On YouTube, like, subscribe, click the bell, hearts on Instagram and TikTok. We have horror content from news, reviews, and events on all platforms.
And until next time, sweet screams, everyone.
And whatever you do,
Don't fall asleep first.
Don't think I won't sing the whole thing.
Get me out of here!